So I went into the military, joined the Navy. At this point, most of my homeboys, they were either in the military or they were in college or they're in jail. So, my best friend, who I thought was like the last person that would actually join the military, he ends up leaving. He goes to the Air Force. So I'm like, well, shoot, if he's going to the military and he was like the last person I would imagine going, then maybe the military thing, may not be too bad. So I went on ahead and checked it out and see what these recruiters were talking about. And I went through all the recruiters, the Army, Air Force, the Marines. Well, I don't think I went to Marines. I only think about doing Marines. Not at all. You know, just not my thing. Whatever. I ain't want to be a bullet cushion. But shout out to the Marines out there. Simplify, all that good stuff. I ended up joining the Navy, so you know that we're brothers and sisters in arms in that regard. So I love my Marine cats, military in general. Much respect. So I joined the Navy, and that was also a big culture shock right there too, because I originally came in as a nuke. In other words, I was in a nuclear program, and I was going to learn how to pretty much maintain the reactor plant, which actually powers the aircraft carriers. So, if you're not familiar with the nuke program, pretty much it's like your job is to be a student, literally. I went to an A school in which 8 hours out of the day we were taking notes. Pretty much the instructor was on the whiteboard scribbling, drawing, whatever. And when they got to the end, went back to the other side, started erasing, write new stuff, erasing, write new stuff, erasing, write new stuff. And if you didn't catch it, you were just asked out. You just had to ask one of your buddies for the notes. But you couldn't even talk in class. You had to wait till maybe a break time or maybe during study time or something like that. But pretty much, you just had to take notes. And pretty much, I remember filling up, maybe about 8 sheets of paper on a daily basis on both sides of notes. I write small too, and just notes after notes after notes after notes. That's actually when I learned how to really study, because up to that point, I didn't really learn how to study. I didn't have to. Class really came easy to me, with the exception of my episode in college when I actually learned that, maybe I do need to learn how to start studying. So I actually learned while I was in the military. And so I became a professional student. And the funny thing is, there's different stages. Like when I was in my A school, once you graduate A school, you're supposed to go to power school. Well, they had certain GPA requirements, and the first when I went in there at the time, you had to have like at least a 2.75 GPA on a 4.0 scale, and I had a 2.74. 2.74 out of 2.75. They couldn't give me a .01 point so I could graduate and go to the next school. So pretty much, but the funny thing is, the minimum requirement to actually pass the class was 2.5. So I got 2.5, but I didn't score high enough to go to the next class, which meant that I had to be reclassified. I was no longer a nuke, and had to choose out of the different jobs that were available at the time, what I wanted to learn. And so I got reclassified and I only had two choices at the time. One was to go to a school up in Great Lakes, Illinois. And if anyone's familiar with Great Lakes, you know that You know, in the wintertime, that thing ain't no joke. Cold. That's when I went to boot camp. I actually went to boot camp in February of '96, and we had snow watches. That's how bad it was. We actually had people that were in charge of going shoveling out the snow off the streets. That way, the rest of the company can march and do their, so we can do our drills and all that good stuff. But anyway, so after boot camp, went to A school, didn't pass. Well, passed, but I didn't graduate to go to power school, so I got reclassified. And my only two choices was to be a fire controlman up in Great Lakes, learn up there, or be a sonar tech. And the schooling for a sonar tech was in San Diego, California. I was like, shoot, I've never been to Cali, so whatever the sonar tech thing is, I'm gonna learn how to do it because I want to go to Cali. I already been up to Illinois, been there, done that, didn't want to go back. So let's go to Cali. So I decided to be a sonar tech, and I was sonar tech for 6 years. Did my A school, B school, C school, all that stuff. Learned how to actually operate my equipment, how to maintain my equipment, and how to fix it too. So I have a lot of troubleshooting skills in that regard. So pretty cool experience. Met some pretty awesome folks. I actually recommend that everyone should do at least 2 years of the military. Just because it allows you to broaden your horizons and be exposed to people from different backgrounds, different demographics, and you learn how to work together no matter what your background is. And even if you don't like someone, you still work together because your life depends on it. Because when you're out on that ship, you have to be self-sufficient, and we have to be able to work together. If there's a fire, we're the fire department. When it comes to cleaning the areas, whatever, we're the custodians. We're the custodians, our own custodians. We're our own fire department. We're our own restaurant. We got to make sure that we take care of each other. Eat our food and all that good stuff. And so, pretty good experience. I miss it sometimes. Don't want to go back. Shoot, I miss high school, but I don't feel like going back to high school right now. But we came to the military, learned a lot about leadership. I was in charge of a work center. On my ship, I was like in a 4 spaces, so there's like let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had about 5 different spaces I was in control of, as far as all the equipment, all the maintenance, and also the upkeep. And I had a few folks under me, so I was a work center suit. I was also a watch supervisor as well. So when I stood watch, at my post, when I was out at sea, I was in charge of relaying information to the combat control folks as far as giving status on what was out there in the water. Because as sonar techs, what we do is we see what's out in the water. We hunt for subs and other ships and all that good stuff. So pretty neat experience. And yeah, the camaraderie. That's one thing I really miss about the military. We were like just tight, brothers and sisters. Even though we all worked together all day, when we got off, we played together too. We didn't get really like sick and tired of seeing each other. Just like, hey, we're all in this together. So we'll go out, go drinking, go hit up a sports bar, go clubbing, just do whatever. And we did it together, and we had each other's back. So if someone messed with one of us, they messed with all of us. And we made sure that we took care of each other. Now that was, my military experience. Did 6 years. Had my ups and had my downs. I like being out in the water. It's really a cool, calming experience. When I first went out to sea, they told me, they warned me, they said, hey, when you first step outside, at nighttime, excuse me, They told me that I wasn't gonna be able to see. You know, it was gonna be so dark. I wasn't gonna be able to see my hand in front of my face. I was like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever, man. I've been outside at nighttime before, but not out at sea. Different story. So I go out first night out at sea, open the door, pitch black. I was like, no, these folks are gonna kill me. So step outside, and for about 30 seconds, I couldn't see anything. I literally could not see my hand in front of my face. I was doing that like, man, I can't see. And eventually my eyes adjusted, and I was able to see, what little I could see, and it was just beautiful. Man. It was just, you could see the stars out there, see the Milky Way, and I don't know if you know. I mean, like astronomy is like one of my favorite subjects. I like astronomy, so to be able to see the stars out there and be out in the night without street lights blocking, flooding, blocking the view. Man, it was just beautiful. And just the wind blowing, you get the waves, just real relaxing. And of course, we couldn't like walk all over the place, at nighttime. But you could stand in certain places. Technically after dark, once we'll be walking all over the place. But we had our few, our hiding spots where we could camp out, crash out, break out a lawn chair and just sit back and just be like, yeah, I like this. It's beautiful. So, that's my experience when I was in the military. Did my time, came back home, and ended up working for a private contractor in which we were actually building ships. So I actually left the ship only to come back to, actually help build the ships that I was actually working on or living on, or just being around, exposed to when I was in the Navy. So that was a pretty interesting experience, and I'll share that with you on another video. So until next time, I'll see you on the next video. The saga continues. Valentino Crawford, signing out. To the next video. Talk to you later. Peace.